Well, hello once again. This is me, Leonard Wells, broadcasting as usual and as always from Haslingden, 30 miles or 50 kilometres due north of Manchester in the UK. Today is Monday, the 19th of September 2011. There's been quite a bit in the news in the past few days about what's called creationism and its opponents in the scientific field. In other words, basically it's whether there is a God who created everything or whether it all happened the way scientists have decided it happened. Now, most of the scientists who are on the scientific side, if I may put it that way, not believing in a creator, in a God, their argument is that at one time, 15 billion or something years ago, there was nothing. And then one day, suddenly, there was one hell of a big bang. And it all happened after that. Billions of stars, planets everywhere, all spinning around each other nicely, all organised. Are they really telling me that all this was an accident? If they believe that, they believe anything. One of the reasons it's impossible for man, with his brain the way it is now, to believe in a God is that they cannot picture what God would look like. Now, you can never picture what God looks like, because nobody has ever seen God. You couldn't see God, because we are within the power of God. A God who can create a universe billions upon billions of light years across, from one side to the other, with all these planets, is impossible for us to imagine. It's beyond our wildest comprehension, and rather pointless to try and speculate. It's a little like, for example, imagine the leg of a chair in which a couple of woodworms have bored themselves, and they're quite intelligent woodworms, and they're ferreting about and they're keeping their eyes open, and they're saying, I wonder how all this came about, this wood that we're in, and where did we come from, I wonder. So after a few years of pondering and sticking a camera or something, or sending up a periscope out of the woodworm hole, they look around and they're still none the wiser. But if you think about it, no matter what they did, they will never be able to picture the forest of trees from which the wood was hewn to make the table. And they will never be able to imagine the carpenter who made the table. If you think about it, that's exactly the situation we are in. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen the little video clips on YouTube made by or made about it, with interviews of Carl Gustav Jung. And he was asked to talk about life after death and a creator and whatever. And from a purely scientific point of view, he made the point that there is plenty of evidence that the inner content of man is not restrained in time and space. that it can see round corners, that you can see dreams of the future. And that being so, it is not confined within our being. Now, this is the point at which the scientists have gone wrong, because we are not just accidents. There is within man a soul, and scientists can't explain that, and they're frightened of that, and they want to hush it up if any evidence appears. Now, there has been many examples of near-death experiences, and the scientists say, oh well, it's just the way the brain dies, the juices inside the brain or whatever, or the molecules in the brain are just slowly unwinding, or whatever terminology they use. They find excuses for it. But there are many examples, and I'll just give you one. There is one near-death experience of a woman who died and was revived on the operating theatre. And when she came to, she described how she was rising up. And of course, they took no notice until she was able to tell them that on one of the window ledges there was a shoe. And she was right. And there was no possibility on this planet that she could have known that or ever have seen that. And yet she came back and told them about it. So that's just one example, and there are millions upon millions more. And you've only got to read the Bible and the Quran, because there is only one God, not two. So the Christians and the Muslims and the Jews all believe in the same God. The problem which divides them all is not God. It's the prophets and our attitude to the prophets. The Christians think their prophet was God. Well, it doesn't make any sense to me, that. That's less scientific than thinking that there was a big bang from nothing. When I was 8 years old and they told me about three gods in one, I thought to myself, well, there's something not quite right here. It never made any sense to me. And that's where the Christians went wrong. I believe in God, and I talk about my Father in heaven. That doesn't make me God. Why do they think that Jesus was God? He never said that he was God. He was a man who died on the cross, for heaven's sake. All right, he had the capacity to heal people, as it says in the Bible. He could bring even the dead back to life. So he was obviously a very exceptional man, as was his successor Muhammad. And there were four prophets: Abraham, Moses, Jesus and Muhammad, on all of whom be peace. I will not choose one to be specific about. On all of whom of those four be peace. So I've waffled on a little bit, and I hope I've not caused anybody any offence. There is only one God, and if you think it was all an accident, then think again, because when you come to die, as you will, it will be too late if you've spent your life ignoring the one that created you. Because don't be surprised if he then ignores you. With that thought, I will leave you in peace. God bless, while it's still legal in the UK to say God bless. Take care. Bye for now.